this just gets me amped. It's like Stranger Things and Star Wars. Stranger Star Wars.
Stranger Star Wars.
That's the next series they're coming out with.
I'd watch that.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Of course I would.
Yeah, you would be the one.
When are we getting season 4 of Stranger Things?
It's
That's
coming
what I want
soon.
to know.
Can't wait!
I bet it's not going to be till in maybe October. I think they're going to push it back.
Guys, we have this thing right at our fingertips called the Intros Webs.
I tried it.
The
It doesn't.
what?
We don't have a date yet.
What
The
is
Intros
that?
Webs. The Intros Webs.
Introspective
Intros Webs.
web something.
Intros Webs.
And now
And we're live now.
you're on a boat in the middle of nowhere.
Where did he go?
I really don't know where he's at.
I don't know if I should have made that suggestion. I'm sorry.
Jimmy's already jumped in and gave his, saying the Jar Jar Binks. He's already answered his. We haven't even started yet.
Hey, they're saying Thursday 17th, September 17th.
September 17th?
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
The-
We
the-
probably
the
still
captain
won't
of
be
the
able to
boat-
pre-order the new consoles
boat-
yet.
The boat's gonna tip over.
Yeah.
I think it froze.
It's
Oh,
tipping.
well, there it
Oh,
goes.
we're going for a ride.
Wow. Okay, let's go back to that boat footage.
Holy cow. We're moving.
I don't know what's
Golly.
going on.
For you audio listeners out there is a boat that is moving very, very
Through the
rapidly
grass.
through the grass.
Oh, his camera fell
Oh,
over.
we fell over.
All right. Dead footage.
Uh,
Boo.
Man, I thought he was a professional.
Craig's gamer
Yep.
TV.
What's up, man?
What's up?
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us. We are the Marauders, and you have stumbled upon the coolest thing. Okay, maybe I shouldn't.
Since
false-
sliced bread.
That's like false advertisement. I can't really say that, but
Sliced
we
bread's
think
not that cool.
it's pretty awesome because we enjoy talking about Star Wars. That's the big deal with us. And we're taking you on a trip. Just so you know, if you're getting seasick right now,
We want to show you all of Justin's property. So
just so you can figure out where he's at.
exactly. Go ahead,
pin-
go ahead,
we're
go
gonna
ahead
get up-
geolocate that.
We're going to pinpoint this thing.
Google Maps.
None of us live close to him, so that's fine.
Okay, so while we're letting him take us on a ride, let's start introductions.
I'm on the top today, son. I am Uncle Joan, a.k.a. Joey Wall, ready to talk about some Star Wars.
We're still going. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, he's gonna lose the camera.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How
If he ends
expensive is
up-
that camera?
It's his
If he ends
phone,
up in the
so-
pond, that's going to be awesome.
I'm
Okay.
Shane.
Okay,
I'm Shane,
yeah, go on.
the Lord of the Lore. If you have a lore question, most likely I can answer it for you. So,
Lord of
Most
the
likely.
Lord.
Lord of the Lore.
Lord of the
Are
Lord.
we skipping to a different movie?
I don't know
series
why. all
with
of-
this?
I don't know why.
What are
I
you
just
talking about?
thought.
There's plenty
I
of
just-
lords in Star Wars. Do I need to give you a lesson? Okay, I am the Lord of the Lore. Okay,
All I can think of is Lord of the Dance, Michael Flatley. I just want
I would,
I just want to see you do that.
I would make it.
I can just see your face.
I
need to
Lord
put
of the
your-
Dance.
I need to put your face on
I mean,
that.
obviously,
body.
I've got a little bit of Irish, so isn't Lord of the Dance Irish? Like that's in my blood, man. Somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay, last one since the other one's still
You
pulling.
don't know the power of the dark side.
What's going on? This is your boy Commander Ace, aka Ace Kennedy, and we're talking all things Star Wars. You know I'm here for you.
Nice.
right.
Don't encourage him.
And whenever he gets there, I'll let him introduce himself. So I am Jared Roaston, but still hosting because it's hot.
Dang.
It is hot. Dang hot.
Dang. Oh,
It's actually,
So let's
actually better than the last couple weeks.
it was actually a decent week this week.
Hey,
Yes.
put this up, Jared, quick. There's Shane right there, Lord of the Dance.
I've got that exact
right,
outfit,
Jared.
guys. I'll wear that outfit on stream next week.
Woo! Okay,
That one's
Okay,
not
that's
me. just
enough.
for the
That's
record.
enough.
that's enough
That's
of that.
enough.
Let's kill that.
We just turned a lot of people off probably with that.
Yeah,
Or,
or like, this is supposed to be
unless they're-
Star Wars.
Unless
Because
they're
we're going to reach a
Irish.
whole new audience. Okay?
Yes.
A whole new audience.
What if John Williams did
What's up?
Irish music?
I'd be down with that.
Celtic music. What would that be
Hey.
like? Oh, he did. He went into the pond.
Do you have a fishing pole?
Okay, so this is going to be quality
Yeah.
content if he flips
Right
over
here, brother.
into that thing.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
I didn't. I'm not in the boat that would flip.
Nice.
This water's hot.
Hey,
Ain't gonna be
speaking
no fish
of-
biting today.
He used Flex Seal on that boat.
Yeah, right. I want to see somebody really do that.
I used to. I did on the other boat.
Flex Seal.
I'm getting so many text messages right now. Everybody's wondering, like, get us a big fish. This is gonna be the. I'm out.
Okay,
I'm out here on
let's-
the lake in Naboo here.
Hey, let's talk about that sponsor.
Let's talk about the sponsor real quick. So, Sonic, they've been putting up with this, and I'm really happy because I pretty much keep one of those stores in business. I think got like 6 drinks today for different people, but I
already
used the
have mine.
app, so it was half price all the time.
Nice.
Happy
I
hour,
learned, I learned my lesson. You're right.
happy hour
Learned 'em.
anytime. But thank you, Sonic, for supporting this stream
Thank
that we
you,
got going on.
Sonic.
Anyways,
This fishing hour brought to you by Sonic.
The whole show just changed.
yeah, it was. We just changed it up completely. This is Star Wars fishing.
That's it. It's just all
I'm
of
gonna-
my favorite things.
We're gonna catch us a grouper fish.
Yeah,
Okay,
a group
let's get
of
on
them.
to this. Let's get on to this thing. So, we have a lot of stuff going on this week, which is, and my dog's coming in. I forgot to close my door.
I'm just glad that wasn't your tail.
I grew a tail. Yeah. So the first thing, we have a lot of Star Wars movies coming up, but what they've been saying here lately is there's lots of low budget that's going to be going on with this. So who'd like to start this
Low
out?
budget.
I will. I
Go
think
for it.
I think it's absolutely necessary for them to hold back on budget. Number one, they're losing a lot of money every day since the Coors virus has taken off, and so because of that, they can't afford to go, 300,000 for a movie, then another 100,000 for marketing. So they're going to have to cut back. And plus, now that they have that screen that they're using for the Mandalorian, they can definitely use that to
Volume.
So there we go. And then they'll make that money back with absolutely people going to the movies to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. I think it's pretty.
I think he capsized.
Okay.
That's what happened.
I think it's pretty smart. I mean, obviously, if they can utilize the screens and save on location budgets, then why not? I mean, if you don't have to fly a whole production crew and pre-production and all that to a location, you could do it right there on the screens. You might as well. I don't think we're going to see a drop in quality. Personally, I mean, it's just what we've seen with the Mandalorian and where they're going in the newer movies. I don't think we'll see a drop, but I think it's going to be on stuff like behind the scenes. Like maybe they don't hit a location, something like that. So. I think in the long run, it's great. Obviously, if they save money on some, they can put it towards different projects, and they're still going to make money. So, and I don't think it'll hurt the quality. So I'm all for it. Like if you can save $100 million on a movie, put that $100 million towards a Disney Plus series, or 2 Disney Plus series, depending on how much they cost. So it's smart, and especially right now, companies need to tighten the belt. So it's a good move.
Well, and not to mention, obviously the whole movie market is ever evolving. I don't know. Maybe we've seen the end of $1 million movies. I mean, who knows? I mean, this could have been the thing to kind of push us over to people not going to the movie theater anymore, But I do think that this whole thing that they're doing, wasn't this George Lucas's plan in the first place Like, isn't this what he did in episode 1, 2, and 3? Like, he didn't. I mean, he wanted it all done in house. He was doing all the models. He was doing all that kind of stuff. So I just think the volume is like just George Lucas's thing. He imagined already from the beginning. So I think it all feels very Star Wars to me, anyways. I do think that they'll make a bigger one, and I think we're going to see a lot of movies moving to that because it is. I mean, it makes sense, and it's just to be anywhere you need to be like that is pretty amazing. So, but I do think like the scale when you're talking about like lots of people on set doing things, there is something about that, and that's why I do think I can literally see them making probably a couple of these volume things that they do, but I bet they make a bigger one for the movies.
Yeah, like in their huge studio, like turning the whole studio into it. I could totally see that.
Totally. And I saw a report today that Taika Waititi said that he's already working on the script. So even though he is doing, Thor, Love and Thunder coming up, but apparently
I read that on Reddit.
Him and the other people that are writing with him, they said they have started on it. They're working on it right now. So that's exciting.
The other thing too is that, with the budgets going down, if it fits the story, I'm not worried about it. I mean, obviously we've seen through Mandalorian that we can definitely have a smaller budget and still please Star Wars fans. I mean, how we both all feel about the last trilogy. We know that they spent a lot of money on those, and then you got the return, but at the same time, the fan base wasn't necessarily all on board with it. So, cutting the budget, if for some reason we have another Solo situation, you didn't waste all of that money, and it's going to be easier to recoup.
And I also, to kind of piggyback on that, I do think that we just don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know how to project what these movies are going to make going forward in the movie theater. Because right now, as it sits, they make a lot of money in the movie theater, a lot, and they don't want to let go of that.
Right.
I think eventually maybe we could see them making more money going straight to video or straight to Disney Plus. But as of right now, I mean, they just make a ton of money. And so I think they're holding out. I think it's like, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's kind of plan for this. Let's budget for this. That way, if it underperforms what the last trilogy did because of COVID and because of people aren't going to the theater the same way, we aren't killing ourselves. Because whether you know it or not, Disney is, I mean, they're in the hole. Like, they're not doing good financially. So they need to make money in the end.
Yeah, that's kind of like why they were, those reports were coming up that Apple was going to buy them just because of the fact that they're losing so much money right now. So, yeah.
I mean, I personally think that if you look at The Mandalorian, though, obviously it's a Disney Plus series, so it's different than just a movie itself. But I would say that there's a grand scale, though, that happens with the movies, like the Senate, when you have that full Senate look of stuff, or you have the on Geonosis, you have all the Jedi and all the Geonosians and stuff fighting. Stuff like that you're not seeing in the Disney Plus stuff because they can't do that grand scale of things. And I think that's one thing that we're going to lose a little bit of if we
I think it all
if they
comes
go
down
that
to
route.
it all comes down to paying your how many extras can you have in a movie. That's where the budget comes into play. Like how many actors, actresses, background and stuff like that. You just don't have that ability whenever you're doing something on such a lower budget. So I think The Mandalorian does really well with if you really pay attention, there's not that many people on screen at any given time.
Except
not like it would be like in a major movie.
Except for the scene where they had the battle with all the 507th in it, though. I mean, they've had large scales at times.
Yeah, but not consistently like you would see in a big cinema.
Well, and I would just say,
imagine those guys were free.
Oh, they were free.
They just
Maybe
walked
travel.
in and was like, man, I am so happy. I would walk on that set for free just to say that I was in
Dude,
that series.
Hey, at Disney, if you're listening, you got 5 guys right here that would be in the background for free.
I mean, I'll fly myself down there tomorrow.
Disney, I'd
I'm a
actually
little,
be in front of the camera. I don't know about this.
Ace is always getting greedy.
It ain't about being greedy. Listen, I'm shooting my shot.
Us four
They
will
would
be-
put your
us four
music
will go.
on there, and then it would get censored. like every time we
Like
try to
everything else,
put
right?
Yes.
I'm a little fat for a
I mean,
stormtrooper, so I don't know.
Here's the thing you
We're
got to
gonna
think
handle that.
about too. Here's the thing you got to think about too. Like, yeah, they lowered the budget. Taika Waititi comes in and he's like, "Okay, here's what I'm doing for the movie." And they look through and there's like, "Okay, let's say there's one scene that's a big battle. They could still go somewhere and still shoot that, but the fact that they're not having to shoot everything on different sets at different places, they're saving a lot of money.
They
and
are.
that they're not using pine wood and everything too. So,
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
if you-
just saying,
if you-
we go ahead, Shane.
If you can cut 2 or 3 locations out of a 5 or 6 location film, I mean that's a huge chunk of the budget. So
Flying
maybe
everything out to where it needs
yeah.
to go. And
I mean,
stuff,
and I get there's a lot. You do England and New Zealand, and if you need a desert, you go to a desert. But you can still do those locations on the cheap, and the screen's going to save you like
they,
they don't have to do post production. They're not going to have to fly back out and do shots. They could do that right on the screens. Like, it's a great move. And I think, like Joey said earlier, we're going to see a huge push, not just in Star Wars, but in cinema as a whole, to go to these screens.
We've seen the desert scene in The Mandalorian, so
that's
I mean,
what I was gonna say.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're very capable of doing that. And then on top of that, man, if you're saving money on the production, then you also means that you're going to get some more A-list actors that you can pay a little bit more.
Right.
That's true. That's why you hear talks about Natalie Portman wanting to come back for the Obi-Wan stuff, and there's all these rumors and everything. It's because they're saving so much money.
Yeah, and not to mention, I just think actors in general, this is a good time to pin them down because what work is going on, right?
Nothing.
I think now's the time you could pick up quite a few people and do some stuff because I think people are like, "Is anything happening? Are we doing anything?"
Like
Yeah,
half the stuff they're recording right now, like even like I think Jurassic World 3, they
Yeah.
started recording that and then they had to close it down because somebody had the Coors virus. Apparently is what Ace is calling it. I think I know a lot of people have had that.
I'm just trying to keep them from striking our video. They said if you say that C word that they get it. So it's Bud Light virus, it's the Coors virus, Mad Dog.
I think I know several people that have had the Coors virus.
Okay.
Yeah, the kung flu.
Not the real thing, but the Coors one. Anyways, sorry, Shane, go ahead.
I have no idea. You lost. I just
I totally derailed that one.
totally derailed it. I had no idea where I was going.
Okay. Well, anybody else got anything on that before we go on?
Now let's get it.
That's it.
Okay.
Move it.
So we Justin actually kind of spoiled one, and that was that
God,
Natalie
Justin.
Portman. Natalie Portman's coming
Sorry.
on.
Take it to the Lord. Take it to the Lord.
Yeah, let's go, Lord.
Guys,
That's
Talk
your
about
favorite thing.
Natalie.
Natalie freaking Portman. But obviously, Obi-Wan's the best series they've ever made. Like, let's just say it now. Mandalorian, whatever. Like the new series they're doing, whatever. Any of the stuff down the pipeline, whatever. Natalie Portman's coming back, guys. Natalie
What if?
freaking
Here's my question.
Portman.
What if it's
Natalie
Natalie Portman? What if it's Amidala and Rostika together?
Shut your mouth. They would shut your mouth. Just stop it. First off, the timelines don't even fit. So whatever. But guys, they're
They go to
putting
the
Natalie
world
Portman
between
back in
worlds.
Star
Come on.
Wars. I mean,
World between worlds.
freaking
Rosika's
Padme's
going
coming back. Freaking Padme's coming back. Like, everything's good. Like, it's just, I mean, what a boost to the week, guys. Like, you're feeling down, just understand that Natalie Portman's coming back to Star Wars. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's it. It's gonna be the best series. Like, I'm just telling you right now. Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman. I mean, we don't need anything else. We don't need Vader. We don't need any of it.
What,
And we
Shane,
got
what's
tons of
Natalie?
people.
What's Natalie Portman's best scene in Star Wars?
Ooh.
I can name it, but I'm not going to say that.
The backless dress scene.
That's
The
definitely what I
scene when
was.
she's had the backless dress on.
I don't know, man. Like,
Shane's thinking about when she's
episode
tied
one-
up in episode 2.
episode 1, she was, she had so much makeup and the costumes were so like ridiculous. I mean, she didn't really get a chance. I mean, let's be honest too. Like, she doesn't really get a chance to shine. I'm curious to see, because obviously she's a better actor. I'm curious to see what they do. Like, is it better written? I mean, obviously it wasn't the most well written, but I'm just a Natalie Portman fan, man. I like the later scenes when she's not the queen anymore and stuff like that. So she's, she's not stuck with, we don't know who the double is and stuff like that. So I like episodes 2 and 3 more. Obviously, I don't like the way they killed her. So that's definitely not my favorite. But I don't know, man.
Dialogue was not George Lucas's strong point. So.
No, the dialogue is rough. The dialogue is rough.
but he has vision.
Whiny little Anakin.
Like, I mean, when they go to save Obi-Wan, that whole sequence is cool. Just that whole setup, before the Jedi invade and all that stuff. That stuff was neat. So
You're neat.
I know, I appreciate that.
So
Thank you.
yeah,
Beautiful.
so just to go over the deal. So Natalie Portman's going to be in the Obi-Wan series, correct? That's the report.
That's the
That is
report.
that's
Well,
the
how
report.
How do you think they're going to use her? That's my question. Is it going to be like a? Do you think the Obi-Wan series will start further back and go like maybe we'll see some of the whole like transformation of, maybe it starts like kind of like Clone Wars did at the end of 3. Maybe we start in the middle of 3 somewhere, and maybe we get that tied in a little bit better. Or do you think it's just like, memories?
I think it's going to be a lot of flashbacks. I think that because supposedly he's supposed to be on Tatooine, kind of watching over Luke. So I think he'll be replaying a bunch of things, or maybe he's having nightmares now, like Anakin used to have over different things, and that's how we get scenes of maybe he starts replaying the relationship that Padme and Anakin had. Like, oh, I really did know what was going on, or maybe I should have did this sooner. So I think it's a bunch of flashback scenes, to be honest.
I'm with Ace. I think it's flashbacks, and we know he's going to be meditating because he's got to learn. He's got to learn to communicate with Qui-Gon. So, I'm thinking it's going to be flashbacks. Maybe it's him telling his story to someone. I'm a little less sure on that one because that really wouldn't fit. But I definitely think it's going to be flashbacks.
Justin, what do you think?
I hope we just see him turn into crazy Uncle Ben. I just want him to turn into that crazy old man that they talk about in episode 4. It was like, you're talking about old Ben? Oh, crazy old Ben?
That never
his
changes
religion?
his name, but somehow nobody knows who he is.
Well, he's a random hermit in the middle of Tatooine's desert. Like, you're not going to think that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, come on.
I mean, it would be pretty cool to see the Clone Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme. That in between, kind of what Joey was saying with maybe in the middle somewhere of the Revenge of the Sith, or maybe a little before that. But when he's old enough that it's not like pubescent teen that we have to talk.
They can do so much with the flashbacks if they mine the Clone Wars era. Like, they could flashback to stories we've never seen. Like, there's so much cool stuff they could do, and they could easily integrate Anakin and Padme into it if they're flashing back to the Clone Wars. And that is the best Natalie Portman era. Like, the Clone Wars series, like, she does so much more than she ever did in any of the films. Like, when she's at the height of being the senator and stuff like that, and she's out doing missions and stuff. So, and she was with Obi and Anakin quite a bit. So obviously, so I mean, there's so much they could do with that, and I'm hoping that's the area they're going to mine for the stories. Like, give us a little bit more backstory. I'm just really hoping they fill in more lore. It's kind of my hope for the series.
It's a great time to bring in Cad Bane.
Oh yeah.
Hey, have you seen?
Pretty slick.
Have you seen what Ewan McGregor looks like now? Just flip over here real fast to my screen. God, he looks so cool right now.
Oh
He's
my
getting
God.
old.
Dude.
It's perfect for the role, man.
And he's got Ace's name
It's a
right
perfect
up here.
age.
Yeah, I mean he's right in there with the older Ben look for sure.
Dude. So I heard that he's been like watching the old ones, McGinnis do his stuff and trying to like mimic what he does real well. But
I'm really excited for it.
One way or another, I think it's more Star Wars, like Shane would always say. It's more Star Wars.
Can't go wrong with more Star Wars, guys.
Whether we don't like it sometimes or we do like it, in the end, it's more Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, still new series stuff, and I'm not going to let Shane start with this one because, I mean, it's Shane. Donald Glover is going to be coming back, supposedly,
yes,
as Lando for a Disney Plus series.
I'm pumped about this. I'm excited about this. I love Donald Glover as a actor. I think he's phenomenal. And then all of his Childish Gambino stuff is amazing. And so I'm a huge fan of him on anything that he does. And so whenever he was doing the role of Lando, I really liked it. I thought it was great. So to get a series of that, absolutely. I'm all for it. That's my 2 cents.
So
Anybody else?
The rumor I heard too was that Billy D might be back as well to do stuff in it as well.
That could be cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Kinda like
obviously
where you-
Donald Glover's the big one, but I think they're going to have Billy D too, maybe do like jump back and forth, different things. So
Is that like bringing your character that used to be that character in just as a side role somewhere, or is it actually like maybe a jump? Or
I mean,
something?
it's all speculation, right? It's all speculation. So
I'm just
it
going
would
to
be
get
cool either way.
I'm going to get my 2 cents. I love the character, and I loved him in Solo, but this is a weird one for me because, like, if you're going to revisit the Solo era, why not finish the films?
Well, and I think this is
flesh out that story.
Yeah.
Like,
this is a good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this is a good way to test the waters, right? Like, there's a lot of people. If you look on, there's a campaign going on to make Solo 2. Now, that being said, Solo 2 wasn't my favorite of them. I liked it. I didn't like dislike it.
Right.
It's Star Wars. I loved it.
Right.
But
You guys want a little perch, a little panfish here?
there you go.
Ooh.
What a man.
Yeah, just
It's
a little.
grouper fish.
I watched him play with it, and I was wanting a bass, but we'll get a. It's yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to hijack that.
No, you're good.
This is a totally different show now.
Dustin texted me. Yeah, that's all for bait there, Dustin. I'll give it to you later. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
I don't
Just
even
doing my
remember
own
what
thing
I
over
was
here.
talking about.
Yeah,
We were talking about Solo, and
Oh, I think it's a good way to test the waters is all I was getting at. I mean, this could be a way to move into Solo, or at least, like, I know what Shane's going to say, get some more of the story of Solo 2. Like,
Right.
at least bring Darth Maul into, like, do something, finish out some of that plot line.
That's what I want with this. Like, I'm not disappointed we're getting a series. Like, not at all. It's more Star Wars. I was expecting maybe this was going to lead into Solo 2. I don't even need a film. Like, give us a Solo series. I don't really care. And I'm not that invested in the Solo character. I just want to finish out that story. I'm most excited about Maul and Black Sun and stuff like that. Like, I want more of that. Like, Ray Park is popular right now. I mean, coming off the Clone Wars, like why not do more Maul? And that's what I want. I want more Maul. So if this story works Maul into it, then yeah, I'm all for it. Like, maybe this is how they finish out Solo. They just do it with a different name on the series, which I'm fine with. So that's kind of just what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they revisit that era and maybe find a way to wrap up that storyline. And that's all I really want from it.
so how good of friends were Lando and Han? Because he said they were both scoundrels and they gambled and all that stuff. But he, like in Empire Strikes Back, he acts like, hey, this is my old friend, more than just he stole the Millennium Falcon from him.
Well, I mean, they had more interactions. In the EU, they had a lot more interactions, but I think it's more frenemies. Like,
That's a good one.
they're both playing. They're both playing each other at different times, and they both have different motives. And
like
occasionally,
you
they
and-
work together.
Like you and Ace, frenemies.
It's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love Ace, but sometimes he just can't handle it. So what can you do?
You be in your feelings. You don't like to talk facts.
Sorry, you cut out there. Did you say something?
I
lost you.
It was his slow, unlimited internet.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. You just keep glitching out.
I bet
Huh? Is your dial-up not working? Is what? Do you need to upgrade to a 96K modem? Huh? 96K?
So much hate.
Man,
my feelings.
just look at all this static. Come on, Ace.
I
Step
am
up your
excited
game.
though. Yeah, the whole Black Sun thing, for people that don't know, they're just that whole like crime syndicate's really cool because they are like in the role playing stuff. I mean, they're just nobody most of the time even knows who these people are, or what their hand is, and how they actually control so much of the government. There's actually a lot of speculation that they actually run more of the galaxy than the Empire actually does because they pull the strings. So it's cool. It'd be cool to see more of that.
And
stuff.
if you do start going that way, then you could lead a bit more into like a Star Wars Underground series. We almost like what we almost had. Like you could get more of the underground feel, and that just opens up more stories. And the like you said, the Black Sun was always there through the Empire era, and the Empire dealt with them. Sometimes they cracked down, but a lot of times they let the gangs and the syndicates do their own thing, and they just kind of worked hand in hand and side by side. And as long as they weren't going after the Empire's stuff, then they just let them be. So you could do some really cool stuff with that. And that's what I'm hoping they do with this. I'm hoping they, flesh out some more of the Solo story, even if we don't see, Solo and the other characters. Like I want Maul. They put Maul in it. Obviously, I'm there. So I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think this is gonna be after Solo. I think it's actually gonna be before Solo.
It's kind of what I was afraid of.
Be his adventures with L3. And so I think maybe we'll see how he got the Falcon to begin with, or why he has so many capes, and just his story leading up to that.
Can we bring back capes? I need more capes.
But it would be nice to actually have some grown-up scenes with Lando in this.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of potential for it, so I'm curious to see how they do it. Obviously, I'm going to watch it. I'm all about Star Wars. So
the other thing too, I don't mean to cut you off, Shane, but the other thing too, I would love to see if actually Donald Glover is going to be one of the show writers, because of the fact, how creative he is. He wrote like that whole Deadpool series or whatever the case may be that they end up not going with, but he's been a Star Wars fan for years. And so I think he would definitely have some insight into what his character would be doing, just helping. And I know him and Jon Favreau are really, really close. Again, it was his idea to hold Baby Yoda before releasing it so that it wouldn't come out, it wouldn't get leaked. So they have a great relationship.
I mean, I'm all for it. They let Ryan Johnson write a movie, so I mean, you can't do any worse.
Teflon, brother. I try harder than that.
Ryan Johnson.
Nice. Okay.
Didn't he do a lot of stuff on Community too?
Yeah.
Donald Glover, wasn't he one of the big
On
writers on
Ant-Man
that? I know he was in it.
Yeah.
I never actually watched that.
That's a great.
You're missing out.
That's a
So
great show.
good. Yeah. So good.
Okay, let's get on, because this is the second person that's mentioned Jar Jar, so we might as well say, what's the most wasted or worthless character in Star Wars history? That could mean somebody that was in it that should have had more, or it could be somebody that was in it that was a waste of money to even have in there as a character.
Did you mean Rose Tico? I think you meant Rose Tico.
Well, since you're already going,
I mean, we might as well, guys. Come on. The most worthless character in Star Wars is Rose Tico. Plain and simple. She takes away the hero moment from Finn. Like, she's just literally the most worthless character. She hides out down there and electrocutes someone trying to go. Look, come on, look. Oh. Yeah. There's a mods girl. There's a mods Padme. So no, Jar Jar is not the worst. Believe it or not, I think Rose Tico is worse than Jar Jar by a wide margin. At least Jar Jar became a senator. Give him that. I mean, there's rumors that he's the Dark Lord too. So I mean, we didn't even get that with Rose Tico.
The only thing with Jar Jar that's his downfall was the voice, was the way that they portrayed him. The writing was actually okay.
Yeah, that wasn't his voice wasn't great.
okay,
No.
so since we're on this one, so Rose Tico, what if she had not saved Finn? Where would we be at? In the movie? Is that what you said?
No, I said if she had not been in the movie.
If she would not,
if she had not done the hero and let him sacrifice himself, I think you could have written that even cooler with having Luke Skywalker intervene in that. Because he's using the Force Ghost stuff anyways. I think that you could have written it better than her just ramming the plane. I still think you could have had Finn alive, just not like that.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What is something they could have done with Rose that would have made her a good character?
Not written her into Star Wars?
I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
No, I actually think Rose was a good character.
Oh,
I
because
actually,
Ryan Johnson wrote her.
bro, are you gonna let me talk?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
So I actually think she was a good character. I think that I like everything that she had as far as like the backstory she had with her sister. I like that she had the background of where she came from as far as like uh the underprivilegedness and having something to fight for. So I thought that her story arc kind of mirrored some of everybody else's story that they finally had something to fight for. So I thought she was a well written character. I know a lot of people didn't end up liking her character, and and that's fine to not like her character, but the stuff that they did to her outside of Star Wars, where they trolled her enough to where she left social media, I thought that was a disgrace, because as Star Wars fans, we can be very toxic. So to not like a character is everybody's prerogative, but to actually attack her as a person, I thought was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, she did fine
agree with
acting
that,
her
yeah.
character. Yeah, I mean, I have no issues with her acting. The character doesn't feel necessary to me. And Star Wars fans were not nice to any of the new. I mean, especially to her. But I mean, that's why we don't. I don't think that's why there's no excitement from the cast of the new trilogy to come back. Like, I mean, just they didn't get anything positive out of it.
Right. I mean, like I said, I disagree with you guys as far as like her being a good character. Like I said, I liked her backstory, and it's not even about the Last Jedi, because I even like some of the stuff that they did, even in the Rise of Skywalker, where she was like Leia's basically right hand woman, and then even some of the stuff that they did with her in the comics. So I thought the character was a good character, but I do understand why people may not necessarily have liked the character. It wasn't like she was a 1A character. She was more of a B or C role character. But at the same time, I thought I even like her. I like her much better than I did Jar Jar.
I feel like she was written as a C character, but they tried to pull her up a little higher than what it was.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't
There
think.
you go.
I think she was pulled too far in the foreground for what the character was built for.
I don't agree with that either. I respect your opinion, but the risk what I'm saying, I think in the Last Jedi, I think they were trying to separate all of the characters. So what that was is you had Poe Dameron, who was then linked with Holdo, and then you had Rose linked with Finn, and then of course you had the main story, which was Rey and Kylo. So I just think that she still was in a C role. I just thought that she was aiding in Finn's actual storyline, which they kind of mirrored that from Empire Strikes Back when the character split up. So I think she's just a normal Star Wars character like in any other story.
I think for me, I just didn't like the way that they made them so desperate. Like her and Finn's character just seemed like desperate characters. The way that Finn just screams for Rey the entire time. The way that she is like, she kind of seems like the bumbling like sidekick when it comes to a lot of things. I don't know. I know that people may not agree with it. That they didn't feel like strong characters. They didn't feel like strong C characters. I just felt like they were just like, well, we need some people who can try to show how dire the situation is, but I don't think it came off like that. It kind of came off whiny to me. Forget it.
I also think too that she was there to aid in Finn's development, because Finn spent the whole part of episode 7 not really knowing who he was and what he stood for. I mean, there was a time he was about to just straight up leave Rey and go off, like felt like his portion was done to get her where she needed to be. So in this episode, she was basically saying like, look, my sister died for the rebellion, and here you are running again. Like, when are you going to stand up for something? And so I just think she was there to basically aid in getting him to realize that he was, that this was his purpose, in my opinion.
It was weird to me because we saw that arc with him and Rey in episode 7. And so that's why it feels so unnecessary to me with episode 8 is we see that arc with him trying to run, and he leaves Rey. Then he comes back and helps Rey at the end, and he gets injured. And so we see him at the beginning of episode 8 and he's all injured and stuff. And then he wakes up and his first instinct is to run again. And I think that's where I get so frustrated is like, we've been through that. Like, so spend your time instead of developing instead of bringing in Rose to suddenly make him, part of the Rebel Alliance, like spend your time developing that character and not. You don't need Rose for that. Like you set all this stuff up in episode 7, and then it feels like we come in with episode 8, and he's like, we're just going to rewrite it. And then he makes this character to fit the way he wants his script to go. And then they run off, and we get the whole Rose Tico thing where she's talking about, the classes and stuff like that. Like, I get it. I get it. You want to make it, I don't know, whatever.
But he wasn't running though. Go ahead, Joey.
I was just gonna say I agree with Shane in the fact of like I just think she was unneeded.
Yes.
I think we had characters that we needed to develop more, and we needed more on them. And that kind of goes with, if I'm being serious about this question, Finn. Like Finn is one of the most underused characters. Like Finn is the concept of a stormtrooper that turned is so new and different. Yeah, and it's like there's just so much like we could do with that. And not even just one that's turned, but one that's turned and is force sensitive and can be a Jedi. Like, I mean, there's a lot you can do with that.
And you water him down further in episode 9, or JJ does, when he writes that, that there's a whole nother unit that left and they're hiding on this planet. Like you water down what he is. And so I just feel like why not embrace that? Like, he's a stormtrooper who's left it. He's joined the Rebel Alliance. Like there's so much there. And we never develop that potential. And then we make it look like all the stormtroopers are running off because we got a whole unit over here that just happens to, they run into. So I just feel like you said, they water it down. They don't develop him.
They did underuse Finn. I will definitely agree with that. He was set up in the end of 7 to be a Jedi. Yeah. I mean, he could have very easily, maybe the Force drew him to Rey. Like that could have been an arc. But the other character that they wasted is Snoke. Like here was
there you go.
100%.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And listen, we could have had the opportunity to have the new baddie in Star Wars. We could have had an epic backstory. You could have even made him Plagueis. Like maybe Plagueis did find a way to cheat death by sending his essence into Snoke, and the reason why Snoke was deformed because again, force sensitive beings cannot transfer essence into a new vessel. So there's so many different things that they could have done with Snoke. The fact that he manipulated both Rey and Kylo, just the amount of power that he had for him to be able to basically teleport his face and still use the Force to slam General Hux to the ground. Like this dude was so powerful, and we completely wasted him.
And totally to your point, the visual dictionary too, like backed up everything to make him something really cool. And then Ryan Johnson dropped the ball.
Then all we got was a jar of Snokes at the end.
Ryan,
all we got
JJ dropped the
Ryan
ball.
killed
All we got was a
Ryan cut him in half. So
JJ set him up.
Ryan cut him in half to set up Kylo, which the story
Ryan
was about.
Ryan cut him in half to set up his script. Ryan had a direction that he wanted to go when he made the script fit it.
Look, I think Ryan and JJ both screwed up with him. Okay,
100%.
Because you're right. JJ could have wrote it in a way in 3 or in 9 that made it better, but he didn't. Ryan just killed him. I was like, no, like there's at least let me see this epic battle. You see how powerful he is. You want to see this battle. Now I get it. Nobody can fight against him. Oh, wait, I know a guy who's on an island who's really powerful. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
So like if you look at even the evolution of our conversations, like going into episode 7, then we see it, and then all the hype we had after episode 7 leading into episode 8. And all of our conversations were, who is Rey? What is Snoke? Like, all those conversations is Finn a Jedi? And then we get episode 8, and it's just like, what were we talking about after episode 8? Like what was the excitement leading into 9? And I just feel like you said, like they just underutilized so much of the new trilogy. And then, obviously we'd like DJ's character in episode 8. Like, was that worth it? Like, I mean, how cool.
Gosh, man.
Ahmad,
What a waste of a character.
You said what?
You have another fly in there?
You know I do, brother.
Your eyes.
Every Thursday, I don't see flies at all. No time in my house until Thursday.
So the podcast starts.
Have I ever told you about Darth Plagueis the Fly?
And
He tried
Craze,
to destroy the podcast.
Craze has one that I definitely agree with too. I mean, Mark Hamill was underutilized. I mean, his in episodes
no,
7, 8,
no.
and 9, like they underutilized him big time.
Completely.
Big time. I totally agree with that. The way they went with him, and I'm not saying just Ryan Johnson, the way JJ did it too, like you could have utilized that character and built so much more hype and excitement off of that. And I get it. You know, we wanted to move on, we wanted to show the new characters, but like they underutilized the original characters so much in this trilogy. You know, and you dropped the ball, I think, going into episode 9. Like when Leia died, when Carrie Fisher died in real life, like you should have pivoted and you should have just taken out. If you want to go with that, with Luke being on the thing, that's fine. You should have taken out the scene of him dying. And you should have had him in 9, and then you let him depart in 9.
You could have made it. You could easily wrote him not dead though. Like you could have
100%.
said that. I mean, if we're making up force powers, he could have just teleported somewhere else. I mean,
Well, all he has to do is project. I mean, he does his projection thing. That's when he opens himself back up to the Force. Then he goes and trains Rey, and he dies in the fight. Like that's fine.
or he could have been a projection that was making a projection. It was like Inception.
Or we could have just had the script from Colin Trevorrow where he was in it a lot
1000%.
by haunting
Now that would have been
yeah.
so
I mean,
cool,
it's so good.
please.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there was just so. I mean, I'm sure that there was a lot of thought put into it, but as a Star Wars fan, it feels like we didn't put a lot of thought into this trilogy. I mean, look at what we're talking about. Almost everything we're talking about is this new trilogy. Like, I mean, I'm glad that we got more Star Wars, and I own them all, and I own a ton of action figures from them and stuff. But like, there's so much more potential, and they didn't utilize it, and it's just like, who's writing this? Like, who is the one that has invested 40 years into Star Wars and then decided that this is the way you should go?
Hey,
Um,
it's about to all change, Shane.
I'm so excited.
Kathleen Kennedy will be out of there. You know, fix everything.
I mean, look, we already know it's changing, and we see the direction they're going, and I'm happy with the direction they're going. I mean, you look at what we've got coming in the pipeline. Like, it's going to be a good few years of Star Wars.
I know, because we got Dave Filoni and John Favreau running the ship now.
Filoni baloney.
Baloney.
in that TV division.
Running the ship. John's taking over movies. Just wait.
Teflon.
I'm totally fine with that.
Facts, not feelings.
Totally fine with
Okay.
that.
Uncle Joan, what is your wasted or worthless?
You already said
Well,
it.
I said Finn, but it actually, if I'm going to be really serious, throw it up there. Throw it on the screen. You know it. That's who it is. Greedo is the most underused, wasted character of all time. All time.
I have to say, he could have been big. He could have been big.
Could have. He is. She is, or whoever.
She.
What is it? Is it a she? Is that a she?
Well,
It's a she in it.
In the
Yeah.
costume, it is a girl.
Okay.
But we don't know the race, maybe. Right? Come on.
Could be. We never really
Maybe. Yeah.
were
I don't
shown. What's going on here?
I don't know. We're just bonding over here.
Han Solo's just
Oh my
killing
gosh.
people in cold blood.
We're just bonding.
I
You know
mean,
who
who
else
shot
was
first?
underused, man?
First.
Do what?
Okay.
What'd you
Okay,
say, Mom?
Justin.
What did you say, Ace?
Oh, go ahead, Justin.
No. What did you say?
Salacious Crumb, man.
You said something. What were you saying?
Salacious Crumb.
Salacious
Oh, yeah.
Crumb was underused, bro.
Oh, crummy.
Oh, crummy.
So
Oh,
who's
crummy.
yours, Justin?
The Gamorrean guards.
Sarlacc.
Definitely.
Sarlacc.
Sarlacc. I need more
We
Sarlacc.
needed more Sarlaccs.
I don't know. He had a pretty big role, or she.
He had one role. He didn't. We don't even know if he really ate boba or not.
He didn't
If you-
eat Boba.
If you played the
So-
RPG game with us, then somebody went into the Sarlacc pit
Pretty sure it was me.
Yeah, that's right.
to take.
Pretty sure it was me.
to get the
They have
treasure,
three.
right?
They have 3 hearts, by the way. The Sarlacc pits.
Gotta get.
Doesn't
gotta
it
go to
take
that Sarlacc
doesn't it
pit,
take them
man.
like 100 years to digest you?
Thousands of years.
It's not a good time.
Okay, so we're gonna have. I'm gonna show something here real quick.
You don't know that. It might be a great time.
It's not a good time.
Never been there.
The
It's not a
Ninth
good time.
Friend were
Speaking
underused.
of underused, what about Boba Fett? Now, hey,
The
what
Knights
about
of
this?
Ren.
The Knights of Ren.
The Knights of
Where's-
Ren.
That's.
Well,
definitely
but
one.
think about this
I'll give
too.
you
We
that.
are
Captain
we all-
Phasma.
everybody's always said Boba Fett's one of the most underused characters for his small thing that he was in, but we're going to get something. So it's like they still have a chance to utilize these characters and make them great again.
Okay, so this is for Justin's because he picked the Sarlacc.
Come on, Justin.
I want to show
Yay.
the right one
Yay.
first.
Yay for me and the Sarlacc. Well, this is taking forever.
What are you catching,
So-
Justin?
Nothing.
This is
Not a friggin' thing.
so. This was the Sarlacc, but this is the
Special edition.
the Lucas special edition
Yeah.
reimagined.
That's my boy
So
right
then-
there.
Because there
Or
was
girl, could be a girl.
none of that.
So then
beak
we
under-
got the real one, the one that we all know, which is
the one that
this
we all
guy.
dream
that's
about.
what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
And that's way better.
Yeah.
No, I mean the tentacles, like being able to grab and stuff, are cool, I guess. But
The little
Well,
beak thing though was a little,
yeah, I can do without that
It's
beak.
trimmers, man.
Yeah. I know, it's what
It
looked
is
like.
trimmers,
Mine is
exactly
trimmers.
what it is.
Yeah, it's just trimmers.
So we've already actually talked about mine. Let me pull it up to you.
Burrito, I know. We'll go.
No, it's not. It was Finn. Finn was
Nice.
my main one. There was so much that could have been done with Finn.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say
that-
Rose.
Where's Tico?
Rose has already been said. But yes, this would be mine. Just because the whole stormtrooper thing, like we talked about, and then at the end,
Yeah.
the best we get is Rey. I feel it too, which I think she was supposed to say that line. I don't know, but nothing, nobody.
Nope.
Anyways,
Nope.
no, nobody's,
laughing.
nobody,
No.
okay, no.
I mean, they could have.
I'm
They
delayed
really,
laughing. There's one spot in this pond I can't hear anybody.
they really could have done a lot. Like if you know if 8 and 9 were Ray and Finn learning the Force together, like that just would have been pretty cool. I don't know. They could have gone so many different directions. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Or, you know, we got what we got. So
We did.
We're just ready to move on.
yeah,
Let's talk about Ezra and how awesome he is.
Get what you get and you don't get upset.
his stupid now post stupid blaster lightsaber Ezra. Okay, original Ezra. Come on,
Yeah, no.
He
no,
was
the
growing
blouse
in the
and blaster
Force,
one.
sir.
growing in the Force. Ray didn't need a blaster.
Ray was just already
Yeah, but
good
she
at
also-
everything she did.
Ray was already good at everything.
She also
so
pretended to be a part of a. She also pretended to be a part of a family she wasn't a part of.
she didn't pretend. She was a Skywalker. She's a Skywalker at heart. That's all that matters.
She's an imposter.
Imposter.
She's a Skywalker at heart, guys.
She was
Oh,
She's a
no.
Palpatine.
Again, I've
is a
already
Palpatine.
solved that problem. So you just make her have Kylo's baby.
I just think the message that you give to people is like you
He
make
wasn't
your
a
name.
Skywalker, though.
You make your name what the name is instead of like this message of you got to change your name. I just think it was a better deal if she just would have been like, I'm Palpatine.
I'm a Palpatine.
That's it. I'm a Palpatine.
She could be a little bit Italian. I'm a Palpatine.
Then it's not the
Make him-
Skywalker
What if she had
saga
like
if they lose.
What if she had like a green and red saber? Is it
Making
like the
Palpatine great
like the
again.
Italian flag?
That doesn't
I'm a red Palpatine.
that really doesn't fit with the crystals. So no. I mean, she could have two separate crystals. She could
Yeah.
bleed one crystal so one hilt is red, but
Yeah, see, there
Yeah.
it goes. Because
I
she's
don't
kind
know.
of dark side. That's
that
her
would be
spicy
that
side.
would be weird if we had a red and green double hilted lightsaber.
She's just neutral.
She doesn't get any.
That wouldn't make you neutral because you'd have to bleed the crystal, so that would be dark side.
You're about to bleed here in a minute. I'm gonna punch you.
Ooh.
Oh, I love it. That was good.
Somebody just
That was
died.
pretty good.
That was really good. Why doesn't Obi-Wan just finish him? Like even if
Talking about that.
Obi-Wan
He
doesn't
should
want to,
have. Like,
even if
you're gonna
Obi-Wan doesn't
scream
want to
at
go
me,
down and stab him, just push him into the lava. Like, come on.
Yoda sent him to
it
do
wouldn't
that.
have been that hard.
Yoda and Yoda was an OG at killing people. Look, then
dude.
he couldn't kill Anakin, so then he tells Luke to go kill him.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
And even
you
he
know?
can't.
And then when Luke says no, he tells him all is lost. Like, I mean, Yoda's ready for him to die. So
There is another.
Hey,
I promise you
Hey,
one
serious
thing:
question.
Mace Windu would have pushed him into the lava.
Mace went. Listen, It wouldn't even have been three. It wouldn't have been three movies if Mace Windu would have did it.
Mace Windu
Or
would have
Ace-
killed him
Ace
right there
Ventura.
right there when they first meet. He just senses it, kills him. It's over.
Is it?
Mace,
Is it
Different Star Wars.
Mace was gonna kill Palpatine. He wouldn't
Is
even, he wouldn't have been able to cross over.
Is it
And
just
he
me,
said,
but-
hey, Anakin, go back to your room. Go to bed.
Is it
Spend
just me?
time.
But on on the Obi-Wan series, how I would freak out if they brought Mace Windu back for that series
Oh my
somehow.
gosh.
Please.
That would be
As a
pretty
Weird
Force
awesome.
and
ghost,
everything.
That
is-
would be so dope. Let them do something together and let Mace die like a man instead of just falling out a window.
Well, he got
Which
pushed
he
out a
didn't
window.
die. And he's still alive. Come on, we know he is.
I don't
Probably.
think he's dead. I don't think he's dead.
No, I think they understand the
I'm
formula.
tired of all these freaking Sith
I
and this
promise
freaking
you-
Jedi temple.
Please, if that would happen and he would say that.
Guys, what if he's down? What if he's down below in the underground? What if they give us a Star Wars series like 5 years from now? It's just called Underground, and then it's freaking Mace Windu leading a resistance
Oh.
against the Empire underground
But like-
in
He's a
Coruscant.
bad
Guys,
mother.
why don't I
Shut
have a
your
job
mouth.
at Star Wars yet? I mean,
But I want Mace Windu I want Mace Windu from Snakes on the Plane. Mace Windu.
we
Or
can have a
from
rated R
Trek-
Mace Windu series. I mean, we
want
can
to have.
I
I want
dig
to
it.
have new arms.
like
Bigger.
bionic arms.
Well, just like how Anakin and Luke got new arms. Like let him have
Yeah.
new.
Oh
He
yeah,
just gets new arms.
Here's my favorite Mace Windu.
does he get
meme
new
right
legs
here.
too?
Is this
Throw this
appropriate?
one up there. Yeah, it's fine.
Magic legs.
Don't say it. We're keepers of the peace.
He did cut that guy's head off in front of his kid. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
hardcore.
Well, he at least
I
apologized.
didn't even think about it.
It's pretty hardcore.
He apologized to him.
Mace Windu
I'm
is
sorry.
hardcore. He is hardcore.
He really is. He really is. He's the Jedi we all needed.
Hey, serious question though. With the Obi-Wan series, do you think we get an exiled Yoda scenes of him on
At Dagobah?
Dagobah? Yeah.
I think we'll definitely see. I bet we see Yoda because,
Yoda's hot right now, man. Hot ticket.
yeah, and dude, they're gonna plan all the stuff we know. They're gonna do it.
It'll be a three-way call with him and Qui-Gon.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's a party line.
I mean, we don't know what happened when
Pretty cool.
yeah,
Party
yeah,
line.
I don't know.
On hold he is.
Somebody needs to hang up. I can't call
And
out.
just have some like really
Oh my
cheesy,
God.
like some cheesy Mos Eisley music in the background. Just
Oh my god.
your call is your force use is very important to us. You're number 9 in line.
Why have I never seen this? Why have I never seen this? This meme. Microsoft.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Oh my god.
Why is that so funny?
because we're children.
Oh my god.
We are a bunch of kids.
His faces in the windows are the best too.
Okay, guys. That's-
I ain't catching jack
I
crap
think-
out here.
So nothing else. Well, you caught something. You caught bait.
I caught one perch.
Well, guys, thank you all for hanging out with us, and this has been fun for sure. Are you still looking for one more to show?
Oh, dude, there's so many of them. They're all so good.
Give us one last mace before we go,
Oh, okay.
and I'll pop in the music.
Okay.
You won't be giving us any more trouble.
Okay, what about
One
this
more.
one?
Make it a good one.
Best score in Star Wars.
It's a good one, for sure.
Hit us with that Sith laugh real quick, Ace. Yes.
Mace Windu.
Got thrown out of a window. Or what about this one? We are the keepers of the peace, not soldiers. 2 days later.
Hey, he tried.
He did try.
He
He
tried.
knew. He knew how to do
Okay,
it.
guys.
man.
Cypher
for
Diaz is
joining
way
us.
ahead of him.
Jump in next week, Thursday, 7:30 every week. Drop in some questions if you want. We'll definitely throw those into the podcast next week.
And I might
love you
fall in the
guys.
pond next week. You
Oh,
never know.
You never know.
What about this one right here? Take a seat. Find Miss Window. I don't get it. Oh, you will soon.
Oh my god.
Take it easy, Craze Gamer. Thanks for watching with us.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
See you guys later. We're out.
Chase, get your feelings under control.